Let's talk about energy once again and how important it is for us to be in our own beautiful energy space. And it's really important to know how to do that because everyone's got so much energy and also so many distorted energies around them. So when people come into your space, you can kind of feel that sort of rattly irritation kind of sense. And it's not you just being dramatic and ridiculous, it's that you're picking up on their field that is not calm, not peaceful. And it's literally like little spikes that come out from people. So what we want to do is we want to try and always hold ourselves inside of our own energy pod, and we see it a little bit like a bubble. So we're in this little cocoon, this bubble, and we can see through this lens of clarity that is our own energy. It's clean, clear, we know what is ours, and then we have a sense of that's theirs. So that's theirs, this is ours, and how do I manage what I'm seeing? And what is it that I'm seeing that is for me? It's not for me out, not putting it in. And we want to learn to discern in this way and to manage it, but we don't. We all just jam and ram and bump and crash into each other's energies. And it causes a complete mess in our circuitry because it's not ours. And yet it impacts us energetically. They're energy spikes and they are very, very real. And we'll know that when we're going to visit someone and we don't know, but they've just had a hang of an argument, and then they open the door and say hello, and they're all pretending that everything's lovely, and you walk in and you can just feel the energy's off. But what we do then, we think they don't want to see us, and we blame and shame ourselves. We internalize it to us, but it's not ours. We went in clear, you were ready for a lovely day with them or evening, and you were open, and then you got this, and then you thought, and then you dump it into you, and it's like, that's what happens. Yeah, lots of dumping of energy, it goes on in our own systems. And so not only do we feel it with our connections with one another in this world here, but we also feeling it as handed on, ancestral passed on codes and imprints. And we can know this for certain. We can look at our families and we can see patterns that come in and we think, why does this family keep doing stupid? But apparently it's what we do as a family, so we just keep doing it. There's a lot of energy codes that are passed on to us. And if you think about our journey as a human species, for the longest time, we've just been trying to survive. All the time as a species. It's all we've been trying to do, survive, survive, survive. And survival energy has got embedded codes of immense misery. All the heartache, all the horrors, all the disgusting behaviors of humanity, all our challenges, all our sorrows and woes, every single part of our survival energy are little codes, little imprints, and they are passed on to us energetically. So we have a genetic imprint that makes us look like those who went before, but we have an energetic imprint. And it doesn't just go back 1 or 2 generations, it can go back hundreds and thousands of years. And we know all the way back the suffering and the hardship was immense. And the only thing they could do to help us to survive was a code has to be passed on. So I don't know if you know the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton, all those beautiful scientists who are looking at this epigenetic. We get a code that gets passed on. And that code is to say to us, when you feel like this, be terrified. Run your adrenal systems, exhaust and deplete your system, but do anything you can but survive. Run like hell, fight like crazy, or lie down and play dead. But just do those 3 things. That's all you can do. 3 things that the limbic system is going to give you. And when those 3 things activate and when those activations start, our body starts releasing cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine, stress hormones that are killing our bodies. So we can't run those programs anymore because those programs are going to kill us. We've got to learn now as a species to shift out of the frequency of having to survive to a new frequency of thriving. But we can't imagine it yet because everyone's in this quagmire of misery. when I'm telling you that it's ancestral, I need you to hear very clearly that this is not yours. You are the healer of it. You are the one in your line that has been asked, and you agreed to be the healer of it. You agreed that you would stand up and you would heal this. And when you pass, when we all go back to our being of light, we will remember very clearly. These things tap, tap on our door like messengers saying, remember, 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 but we don't get the message. We don't open the door and take the package and get the message. We just keep slamming more and more doors. Don't you come near me and give me a message. But at some point in this life, we have to do the work, and the work that we agreed to do. And it's sacred work and it's energy work, and we've forgotten how to do it. Like, oh my gosh, and we got to do something, but we don't know what it is. We got lost, we got distracted, and so now what do we do? So there's a huge crisis right now, and we've been able to just ride along this crisis for the longest time because it didn't matter really. We just kept throwing more debris under the carpet. But we're at a pivot point of our human journey right now where we've either got to survive, choose that one, and we're not going to survive, or we got to choose to hop off this story, this trajectory, and we got to choose to thrive. And we are right here at the pivot point of it. It's a pivot point. It is in a crescendo energy. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of this, because if you can frame it well, you will really place this awareness in such a sweet way in your being. If you were to imagine like a triangle, do you remember those dreadful little triangles we used to play when we were kids? And you go bing bong, and you go from each corner, base corner, and you play it back and forth. And then if you went up, it was a little tighter space, and it would go ding 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 ding, and then you go up a little bit, ding 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 ding. And if you imagine, that's what we've been doing. We've been at the base of our journey, our human journey. We had a long time to recover between these episodes of stress. As we became more busy, more interacted, more chaotic in our energy, clustering of our energy, the space becomes less. And then we have less time to recover. And now we're at the crescendo where there is no time to recover. It's just all happening at once. Everything's coming in. And it's coming in now because now is the time of decision. We've got to decide as this human species. And the wonderful thing, we just need one person in every line to do the work, and then we will be clear. So one person in every line, let that be me, let that be you. Let us be the ones that say, okay, then let my life be of value. Let me leave a legacy that starts us on the next trajectory. Let's do that. That's my plan. I've got no kids to pass anything on to, but I have got an energy legacy for humanity, and that's going to be mine. And I choose that. So whatever's coming in now, I'm just witnessing and going, oh, that's interesting. So that's a distorted energy. What is the opposite of it? We know that code. That is the one thing that has never been forgotten in our system. Our heart knows the way home. In the most tragic, disgusting, horrendous times of our human experiencing, this heart is called for mercy and kindness and love and compassion. How did it even remember that when there's been really so much awfulness? There's a code in the heart that knows what it is we must seek to take the next path. And we've got to tap in there. That's the heart code. The hard part has been carrying it to now and not feeling it and not allowing it just to move through us. And the delightful thing is that we come to stopping points in our life to do this work. And there's nothing better than illness or a break or an injury to make us stop. Oh. And so the right side of your body energetically is the masculine, doing, pursuing, activating, getting it down energy. And your left side is your feminine, receiving, allowing, giving, nurturing. It's that kind of energy. So this beautiful body has these two systems that must work in harmony with each other. And the only way we can get them to work in harmony is to connect to the center. And at the center, we've got to pull these two together and allow the harmony to come in. It's a little bit like a teeter-totter or a balancing, those seesaws. When you're in the center, you can balance it out really well. But we got to get into the center to not get the drop to the one side or the drop to the other. And coming into the center is when people say centering. Come into your center and center. But if we don't have the picture of that, then we think, oh, well, this is just silly nonsense, well, I'm whatever. But that coming back to your center, like we did as we started our session, just that breathing, it just takes a few moments. If you give yourself a little Pavlovian signal, like the Pavlov dog, and you gave the signal and it started to salivate, you can do a little signal, like a little sound bell, like on Insight Time, or you could hold a mudra if you do any yoga type things. You can touch you in a certain way, you can hold your hands in a certain way, you can take a breath in a certain way. Just some cue that you give to your being that says, back. It takes a second. It's not a great big performance. Come back in, and then you've got it. And then you can integrate the information that this side is perceiving on the right. Imagine on your right-hand side, your masculine is giving you all this information. Come on, let's do this, get this done, organize, do that. And then you've got your feminine going, okay, so take a deep breath. We can do it. We can manage it perfectly well. But before we fuss and do it, let's just tap into guidance. Let's see what's really needs to come in now. Let's come into our creative. Let's get a lovely new idea for it, a creative thought. Let's bring that in, and then let's activate. So we want to kind of work the system. But what happens is we get on the runaway train of doing, performing, pursuing, and then it runs us away. So it's a little bit like you take a journey away from your center, and then you get a lot of accolades, and everyone thinks you're wonderful, such a successful driving person, aren't you fabulous, look how much you can do, just work all night now for me because you can. And then you go a little further, and you go a little further, until you're so far away from your center that your being is like, okay, what am I? I'm a machine now. And we've forgotten how to come home. So this coming home to our center is what we want to do all the time. Breathe and come home. Breathe, reconnect. Breathe, recenter. Reconnect. Because this part of us that is the doing part is only good at doing and pursuing and getting things done. It's rubbish at being creative. So the other side of our being, the right side of the brain, the left side of the body, because it crosses over, that side is creative, imaginative, intuitive side. So when you've got something you want to do or have to do, I don't like those words, have to, we just throw them in the dustbin, but when you've got something you desire to do and you would love to do, then you just sit a little while and you say, well, so how could I do it differently? How could I do it creatively? How could I reconnect to this? And then you tap into that creative side and you just leave it. Just ask the question, just leave it. And then you'll be in the shower or you'll be driving the car and suddenly, oh my gosh, there's the idea. Bing, in it came. Once you've got the idea, now you start to drive. It runs down, it gets your heart, your solar plexus. Oh my gosh, this is such a great idea. And then your right side of your body, your masculine driver, it goes, okay, I can do this. And it starts activating and doing and planning and getting it going. But then we don't want to go there. We want to come back here, reconnect, and then back. And so this movement of a circle movement is what is your energy center open. That means your energy center now is like a clock and it's spinning. That's what we want. Our energy centers stack upon each other, and if they're not all open and spinning, then the system gets pushed out of its alignment. Okay, so you're at a nice stopping point. Sorry, the body had to have a hard knock. It's been having a few, but now we're paying attention. So now the body and us, we're friends again, and we go, it's okay. This is what I'm doing with my beautiful being. I'm focusing on what I'm connecting into. I'm working with my whole being, my higher self, my human self, my integrity of my beautiful masculine doing, my beautiful feminine guided intuitive. We're working with a whole system. And when we start working with a whole system, then it becomes whole again. It restores and resets. And the sooner we do that, the better, because if we keep pushing, we're going to go too far down the line and we're going to lose our way back home. So we don't want to be so far out there that we don't know how to come back to our center. So we're going to work energetically, and we're going to sweep them out of our system so you can come into a deep relaxation now. And we're going to work in your electromagnetic field. Your electro is your mind and your heart is your magnetic. So the electromagnetic field, when you put the two together with the imagining in the mind and the heart's intention for healing and wellness, you connect with you because you want to bring this healing, this alignment for you, so that your body says, okay, good. So we stopped. We used this moment to stop. We paid attention, we worked with this moment, with the stopping of this moment, with the grace that it brought us. We work with it, we bring all our love and light to it, and then we've done the work, and now what else would you like to do with your life? And you can choose. You can go home, delightful, oh, can't wait, my wings are already fluttering, or we can stay and do some more. We can choose to do a little bit more, but we are able to redesign our agreement now. It's amazing. We've never done that before. So we've got a new space of being able to create new sacred agreements. But we want to finish off what we said we would do, and that's our job.